Hello, hello, hello. Hi, everybody. It's your boy, Tyler McVicker, the Passionate Gamer. I am here. I am alive. We got Hazard Time in the chat. We got the OG Hazard Time in the chat. How you doing, man? We've got DMND Dylan. We got Gloveman. We've got Staple Gunner. We've got Coolman. We got the only Enoch fan ever. You know, we got Alex Vance, Torio K, Roblox Hunter, Big Punisher, 4 MIR Crisis, Kamiso, Gas Mask's Lair, Joao. I don't know how to pronounce your name. I apologize. Tabajara 77. Red Spy are in the base. Zaytrain Express. Suddenly Lily. Creamber 0. Jungle Japeson. Papa Luigi. Hot Hexo. Rams 95 Blue. Tingman Thing with the 30 months. How you doing? Jimmy. Royals. The Walking Geek. Moosevelt. Doofius. Eric 530. Hi, everybody. How are we doing today? It's your boy, Tyler McVicker, the Passionate Gamer. I've been feeling my age lately. I'm not even that old. I'm 28. But I've just been through the ringer. We recently did lose a very beloved member of our family about a week ago. And unfortunately, we do have another one on the way out, like literally within the next week or so. So things are really hard right now, but that's okay because I'm trying to like keep busy and stuff. I appreciate it. I'm not here to like do whatever, but I just want to say I have been gone. I haven't really been working on videos. I haven't really been doing live streams or anything lately because we lost Electra's grandmother, and my grandmother is now also very, very close to the end. And so, you know, things are heavy right now. Having a lot of heartburn. So that sucks. I've been very stressed out to the point where pretty much everything I eat is giving me heartburn, and so I'm on medication, and that sucks. Yeah, so, you know, life is okay. Life, you know, this kind of stuff happens. It's life. Death comes in threes, and there is a third, unfortunately, that I don't want to talk about, but there is a third. And then I thought the third would be my father, but he ended up being okay. But my father did have a bit of a, literally like the day after it was the first day we had just to ourselves, Electra and I, after everything that went down with her grandmother. I got a call from my father at like 7 a.m. He's in the hospital, and he something happened with his heart. And so I was like, oh, good Lord, is that really going to be the next one? But he seems to be doing okay. So it's not going to be him. Thank Christ. But yeah, things have been kind of fucking a lot lately. I saw Hazard Time wants me to go to a Turkish prison, and also mentioned in Twitter responses that I'm going to be hearing from his lawyer soon, because I shit posted on Twitter saying that I didn't have any Half-Life 3 news. I can't tell with that dude if they're being serious or not, but I'm not in the mood. So, you know, who's Hazard Time? You know Hazard Time. Hazard Time's the guy who's like, today's your daily Half-Life 3 news. There is no news. Is that guy? I know you know something we don't, Tyler. The Geezer 777. I got to keep the brain strong. No, I agree with you. Just I'm not in the right mind to fucking shitpost right now. So do I like, okay, so I just kind of want to get back into the swing of things for now. In whatever free time I've had lately, which is very little. I've been putting my efforts towards the time travel show, which is very, 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 very close to being fully put together. The float plane was rebuilt. I put all of the archival content from float plane on from the time travel show. Every episode we did, every behind the scenes thing I ever shot is up on the float plane page now. There'll be a trailer for that. I've been going through. Apparently, I've done 13 episodes of the time travel show. I'm going through them and finding clips that I like, and I'm going to edit together a trailer. And I'm also going to preload my TikTok account to daily upload stuff. Savage Fruit Bowl, 400 bits. Thank you so much, with a bunch of clips that I like from it. And watching through the old episodes, it's become abundantly clear to me that the strongest part of the time travel show is you. That's the strength of the show, is you guys. And so I'm very excited about it. I do want to show you. The time travel show is almost always ready. Yeah, but like I've actually put an absurd amount of effort into it lately. I'll show you a few things I've put together for that real quick. We're going to be talking about Valve and Half-Life and stuff like that. So if you have any questions about Valve and Half-Life, feel free to. The booger is growing. Hell yeah. Crazy Dave, thank you so much. So, like, the show is now... Oh, shit. The show now takes place... Fuck. The show now takes place as a public access show. It's not... The show is not a webcast anymore. It's on public access, and so I put this together. This will get transferred to a VHS tape, and then it'll be shown from there. I love showing this off. Yeah. And then we've got the ending credits put together as well. So yeah, I found the original prototype. I've just put so much, like literally so much work into it. So are you filming your CRT? I didn't make that. Nectru did. Any K2 are you? Reminds me of the Malcolm in the Middle intro. Huh. Yeah, I guess. So yeah, that's been my main thing for now. Do you know what sadly it's Bradley is talking about on Twitter? Did I see Luke's name in the credits? Yeah, so there's a lot of really good creators that have helped me create the show. Or not really, they've talked to me at length about it. I've had meetings with Ross and Luke from LTT, and I'd had conversations with Germa and LGR, and like pretty much anybody who kind of inspired the content I got to talk to. So yeah, so that's what I'm working on with that. But that's not what we're here for. We're here for Valve content. I haven't done will you ever have any of them on the show? I hope so. I hope so. The goal is once every 2 weeks at first, and then we're going to go to once a week. I have the whole next episode done. It's planned, it's outlined, it's ready to go. I'm just making sure that I have the algorithm in my favor, and I'm making sure that I, the trailer is ready, the float plane is ready. Like, I wanted to make sure the support platform was ready because it's not going to make money up front. It's the kind of thing that, excuse me, God, I started streaming and then I get nervous because I haven't streamed in a while and I feel like I'm pissing you off or something. So I burp. It's been very stressful lately. What is Valve Test App 4095690? It's more than likely one of the demos for the Deckard, would be my guess. Also, the only Enoch fan ever with the 57 months on Twitch Prime. Half-Life Bingo is my new favorite segment. I'm glad you love it. Glad you're here. Valve technically doesn't need marketing because a guy from Ohio does it for free. That's true. Is just pissing counts? Is just pissing counts? What's your float plane? It's just Tyler McVicker. It looks like this. Let me show you. So one of the reasons why Luke has had meetings with me is because I decided a long time ago that the main support platform for the time travel stuff would be Floatplane. And so I was, I think, the very first person to get a Floatplane account outside of LTT. But yeah, so it looks like this. Let me move some stuff around. The Passionate Gamer program, it's very simple. But I uploaded from here, this video right here, all the way up to here over the last 3 days. Maybe 5 days. It took a long time. But every single thing I ever did for the time travel show is up here with the original audio. And I also went in and I remastered the audio, denoised it, equalized it. I white balanced all the footage, re-rendered out at the correct frame rate and the correct resolution. And the so it's the highest quality and most original source of all of the stuff that we've done up until that point. Was the recent interview with Gabe fake? I'm unaware. So, okay. So I'm totally down for answering questions. That's what we're here for. I do need to make you guys make sure that you're aware that I have been going through it lately, and I haven't really been able to pay very close attention to everything that's going down. I haven't heard. So, for example, is the recent Gabe Newell interview fake? I don't know what recent Gabe Newell interview you're referring to, and I apologize for that. What I can talk about is HLX specifically, in particular, and I can also talk about the Steam Frame, and I can also talk about the Steam Frame demos. I can talk about Codename TF. I can talk about id Software. I could talk about, a lot of different things. But I am not aware of a recent Gabe Newell interview. I do know that Gabe Newell was called to Congress and is going to be testifying to Congress very soon if, the government isn't shut down. But yes, so the 4chan concept art leak was fake. We talked at length the last episode, the last stream we did. Did you find the bare ass fart on the wall clip? Yes, it's in there. In hindsight, very funny leak. Yes, the Congress thing was scheduled for tomorrow. Yeah, I know. So it's not going to happen tomorrow because the government's shut down, and I don't see them unshutting down anytime soon. It's very much deadlocked, So that's kind of where we're at. To be completely honest with you, and I don't like to get super political because because people do try and kill me when I get political. I think it's fucking stupid that they're calling like the Discord and Steam CEO to testify to Congress to talk about how they're radicalizing people. Like, really? Sir Sethi, $1.99. Will HLX be a premium game for premium gamers? The HLX will be a premium game, but it'll be for everybody, not just premium gamers. If they this is the one political thing I'm going to say today. If they really cared about social media platforms that radicalize individuals, then X should also be a part of it. Twitter. I've been a Steam user for 15 years, and show 43 3 months tier 1. Thank you so much. Yeah, I've received so much more dramatic hate and vitriol from X Twitter and than ever on Steam. The worst that you'll get on Steam is a cheater in a video game. I don't think anybody thinks Steam is a bad platform. It's Steam. Steam is pretty universally beloved. Duckmaster Bob with the 14 months trying to take out precious Steam from us. Well, it just comes down to needing a scapegoat. I don't want to get political, but they're looking for a scapegoat. All it comes down to is people are struggling, and that struggle is released in a lot of different ways based on the mental stability of a person. And if a person is going through enough struggle, that mental stability will break, leading people to do very unstable things. But instead of, like, you know, blaming the actual things that are causing the problems, like nobody can afford a fucking thing and nobody can get a job anymore, they'll blame video games and social platforms. It's like, you know, blaming Doom for, yeah. Yeah. I think the fact that like electric bills have quadrupled in the last 6 months and the prices of food hasn't gone down at all and farmers are losing their jobs is probably a bigger factor of causing people to do really stupid, radical things than playing Team Fortress 2 and Left 4 Dead. Because I gotta tell you, so many people sent me DMs when the one guy, and I don't condone killing, don't fucking do that. Like, obviously not a good thing. The guy played a lot of Team Fortress 2. And so, of course, a bunch of people messaged me and were like, do you think they're going to come after Team Fortress 2 because of this? Unfortunately, yeah, maybe, because they need a scapegoat. Because the real problem of, hey, can anybody afford anything anymore? Like, at all? Is never going to be fixed. That's never going to be fixed. Do you know what I mean? Like, I think people just want to be able to, I don't think it's even political to say that every human being just wants to have that safe feeling that they had fleeting when they were children. You know, they just want to be able to come home and have a hobby and just, like, have their family around, you know, and feel like they're secure in their life. I feel like that's a pretty universal want, and very, very few people can have that. So what are you going to do? But yeah, will they reschedule it when Gabe goes to Congress, for Gabe Newell to testify to Congress? I don't think so. I think it'll get lost in the sauce. I think people will get distracted by the next thing, and it'll never actually happen. But I can say that Gabe Newell, a staunch libertarian, would likely use the time at Congress to soapbox a little bit. You know. Is Valve doing an Orange Box too? No. Is that why there are no games are being released? Deadlock was released. Deadlock is out there. Is that why there are no games being released? Well, CS2 came out. Like, they're developing things, and they'll release when they're out. So, it's becoming kind of a problem how it seems as if the world is so scary right now that people are using HLX as an escapist piece. Just like being in this community and having a thing to be excited for is a large group of people's form of escape, or their form of, like, it's okay, I can get through this because I have this to look forward to. I can't tell you the number of, it's really sad, the number of people that have told me, like, this has saved my life. I am only alive because I'm sticking around to be able to play that thing. And so because of that, a lot of people are kind of staking most of how they feel on the news that comes out related to this game. I don't like that. I do think that's a very unhealthy relationship with a product. You're putting that product on a pedestal, and it's never going to reach that expectation if you think it's the thing that's keeping you alive. But I can't control what you do. But I can tell you, Just because we go a couple of months without new data mined leaks, it doesn't mean you have to immediately start dooming. Okay? I don't know how many times I have to tell people to get off the ledge because the game isn't canceled. Like, it's becoming a problem. It's becoming a major issue how much people are dooming the fact that there is currently an info drought on HLX. So I'm going to be very open and honest, because people think I'm like sitting here with like the full chapter list and all of the weapons and what the story's going to be and exactly what the release date's going to be. I don't have that information. The information I do have, I centered my camera so this looks better. The information I do have is that we're too far along for new things to realistically leak that often anymore. Two things. Number one, we know enough. We know enough. We know enough. We know enough. Right now, the amount of information that we know is enough because it's mechanically the whole game. We know everything that there is to know, mechanically speaking. If you wanted to learn more about the game, you're getting into spoiler territory. And I have told you this since day one, I'm not doing that. If you want spoiler stuff, find another YouTuber. Gabe Follower is more willing to do spoiler stuff, and even then, not really, because, like, we know about, the increased artificial intelligence within the NPCs and how they react to different forms of stimuli around them. It's no longer just hearing, it's sight, and it's smell. And when I say AI, I'm not talking about large language models. I'm talking about traditional video game artificial intelligence. We also know about fluid dynamics, simulation, thermodynamics, and like the interaction between surfaces and liquids and the different properties that can happen throughout those types of things. Reacting to temperature, reacting to friction coefficients. We know about the significant simulation that's going on with vehicles, suspensions and steering and wheel sizes and traction and friction and the weight distribution of different passengers and how it interacts with the types of vehicles. Is the vehicle on water? Is the vehicle in the air? Is the vehicle on the ground? We know all of this already. We know that the game has a gorilla in it. Except it's not really a gorilla. It's like, we know a lot and I understand very little of it. I'm still not completely sure what data mining is. Okay, I'll explain it. Yeah. So data mining in this context, because it's not the true the true scientific definition in computer science of data mining is not what we do here. Okay? Effectively, it works like this. You have a game. Valve develops their video games on the same engine. This isn't speculation. This is actually the truth. Valve develops a game Valve develops all of their video games on the Source 2 game engine. Right? The Source 2 game engine does not have separate branches for each individual developed project. It's all being developed on the same core engine. Because of that, when one game updates a new feature into the engine, another game can very easily take advantage of that feature without needing to refactor any code or update the engine base. That's why. This means, however, that if something was fundamentally changed in the engine itself, even if a different game isn't directly taking advantage of that change, of that new piece of software, of that thing, it can still easily stay within the code of the engine of the game. In layman's terms, the Deadlock team could update something related to netcode that Counter-Strike 2 isn't directly using. But because both games are running on the same engine, the same core engine, When one game updates, it can appear in another game's update because they're using the same core engine. Master Crazy RJ with 13 months Twitch Prime. Thank you so much. I have no idea how he figured all this out. Okay, I'm seeing a lot of interesting, very good questions coming in. Pardon my ignorance. What is Deckard? We'll get to all of it. I need to explain this so that we're all on the same page, okay? And I want to make sure that if I'm explaining something in a way that you don't understand, don't feel embarrassed. Just say, hey, I don't really get, like, can you slow down? Can you re-explain something? Totally fine. Totally cool. Just tell me what you need to know, okay? So, if Deadlock updates netcode in a way that Counter-Strike 2 isn't necessarily directly taking advantage of, that new netcode can still have remnants found within the code of CS2, right? Deadlock gets a new feature. CS2 updates around the same time, and even though CS2 isn't using Deadlock's feature, CS2 still can contain that code because it's all on the same engine base, okay? So that's the core. So because of that, because of that, you can take the core engine files of any Source 2 game and do what's called a string diff check. Usually you're using a Linux build of a game, but you can do this on a Windows build. So we're going to talk about in terms of Windows and not Linux because Windows is more widely understood. In a build of a Source 2 game for Windows, you have your executable files, usually just one, sometimes a few if you're talking about a game with a tool set, and you have your library files. And then you've also got assets, but we're not talking about assets right now. Library files on Windows are the .dll files. Executable files are the .exe files. Okay? What you can do is plain text those files. When you open one of these files in a text editor, it's going to be a bunch of garbage. It's like stuff you cannot understand, just absolute, just garbage. Have you ever tried opening a non-text file in a text editor? It's just a bunch of random characters and letters and numbers and symbols, right? Well, the way that actually works is sometimes either through hexadecimal or, plain text within the file itself are text strings from the pre-compiled code. Right? Now, I'm talking about Windows because more people understand Windows, but it's a lot better to do what I'm talking about using Linux builds because Linux builds don't obfuscate or hide as many of these things as a Windows file does, right? But all you're doing is you're using a very basic program that all the program is going to do is read from the very first character to the very last character. Thank you, HJMAVX. What it's doing, right? What the program will do is look for strings of alphanumeric characters that are more than 4 characters long. And then it will print those out in a text file in the order that they are found in, or alphabetical order, depending on how you choose to factor the file, right? So what you're doing is having an automated, just a script, read every character from the first byte to the final byte and look for strings of alphanumerical characters within a certain length and longer. And then list those out either in chronological order or alphabetical order based on the rules that you give to the script, right? Yeah, it's reading binary as ASCII text. Sometimes you can hex it. You can look at it, the hexadecimal, depending on the file. Now, these are a lot of fancy words I'm struggling to comprehend. Okay. In any file, you can open any file in a text editor, and you can find words from the original source code in those files. Not the source code itself. This isn't running code. It's garbage. But depending on how a program is compiled, sometimes you can find variable names, function names, struct names, arrays, things like that. Right? Just plain text. It's literally just everything is a text file and it's looking for words and then it's listing the words. Why does that happen? Because it's based on how when you write code in English. Oh God, we got to go real far back in computer science. Okay. When you're programming nowadays, if you are a modern day programmer and you're not writing in like assembly, you are writing with words like if and then or bool or God, whatever. Like, computers don't understand English. Computers don't understand C++, right? If you're a programmer and you're like, if x equals 2, then y equals 8, else y equals 10, like the most basic of functions, right? The computer doesn't know what that is. The computer has no clue what that is. What you're doing when you're programming is writing instructions in a language that a human is very capable of understanding, and then a program called a compiler has to take that English programming code and convert it into a special kind of code that the computer actually does understand. Right? At the core of it, we can just say it runs in binary, but in reality, depending on the architecture of your computer, it can have a whole lot of instruction set stuff like x86 stuff, whatever. Right? So what is happening is when you're writing your program, you name things. I name this variable NPC underscore Zen Gorilla. I name this function NPC underscore flocking floater. I name this file NPC underscore Zen Gorilla. It will then compile that out into machine code. And sometimes stuff in the compiled code can back-reference the English words in certain circumstances. And based on how Valve works, quite frequently, it's based on whatever compiler they're using, whatever programming language they're writing in, which is usually C++. Right? Like, look, okay, in reality, you're not going to see words in binary. That's not how that works. Binary is ones and zeros. It's very complicated as to why things slip into the compiled code, but it's just a reality of modern computer science, okay? But just so that you understand in the most basic of terms, when you write code and then compile that code and then ship that code, somebody can take the files that you compiled and do very, very, very the most basic form of reverse engineering and find information from that original code, right? And because any game that Valve is developing runs on the same engine, code that is originally written for Half-Life 3, aka HLX, can show up in CS2, in Deadlock, in Dota 2, in SteamVR Home, anything else. Okay? Now, that is not 100% accurate. Okay? There are specific reasons as to why plain text variables and file names and structs and function names and things like that appear in a compiled library file in Linux. But all you need to know is that handwritten code that is being made for Half-Life 3 can be found in the files of any other Source 2 project. Okay. Are we on the same page so far? Because there's more to talk about. Okay. So, lit beep, 29 months. Okay. I'm not going to answer any other questions until we get through this. Okay. Now, because Valve's games are constantly updated, Deadlock, CS2, Dota 2, they are games that receive consistent major updates. These updates almost always contain evidence of the state of every other project Valve is working on. That is why you're able to find information related to the pet chickens in Dota 2. That is why you're able to find information related to Deadlock Heroes in Counter-Strike 2. Things are always intertwined because, again, everything is using the same core engine. Okay? So how do we know what is new? How do we know what they are doing now? And how do we know what we're seeing is actually for a specific project? This is a complicated answer, and I'm going to try my absolute best to explain it in a way that you can understand. First and foremost, you do need know-how. You need knowledge. You need institutional knowledge on how Valve software operates, because some of this is just knowing what you're supposed to be looking for, right? Now, we didn't just guess that Half-Life 3 was in development and then we got it right. The codename HLX started appearing in files in 2021. We didn't know what HLX was initially. It wasn't until August of 2024 that it became abundantly clear what it was, because we found stuff like Zen Gorilla, right? Okay, so I need to check, sadly, it's Bradley's Twitter, apparently. Anyone wants some military-grade copium? I'll have some for you later tonight. Okay. I mean, if it's the thing that I kind of heard about, it's not that big. If it's something else, then it's okay, I'm excited. But if it's the thing that he posted about on Discord, then I think it might be different. We're not... Okay, no. We need to stay on topic. Okay. So first of all, you need to know how Valve develops games. Second of all, you need to know all of Valve's games, right? You need to know exactly how Counter-Strike 2, Dota 2, Deadlock, Steam VR Home, Artifact, Underlords, everything. You need to know how they work on a core level. Because otherwise, you're going to be finding stuff in this code that seems exciting, when in reality, it's for Counter-Strike. It's very obviously for Counter-Strike. Does that make sense? So you need to have institutional knowledge. You need to know the context of the environment things are being developed in at Valve, or any company you're doing this for. And that's the reason why I'm not so good at data mining Nintendo or EA. Like, I'm good at data mining the companies that I know very well. So CD Projekt Red, id Software, and Valve. And I don't data mine id Software because I'm too biased. I'm too close to that. Did you hear Hugo got promoted? I know I said we're staying on track. Hugo got promoted. He's co-studio director now. My man. My boy he's co-studio head at id Software now. Hell yeah. Okay, so the reason why you need institutional knowledge is because if you're going through these files looking for something related to HLX, which all of you would try to do, you would see multiplayer code stuff and think, oh, deathmatch? There's no evidence to suggest that HLX has any kind of multiplayer component. I would love if HLX had deathmatch. I'd love that. There is no evidence to suggest that. So how do you actually data mine? When an update comes out, what are you doing? What is it that we're doing? How do we know what these random strings are? Sorry, I hit the mic. And what is new? Is this interesting? Is this at all interesting for you guys? I feel like I'm being very nerdy and boring. Okay, so what you're doing is called a diff check, and it again is so fucking simple. It is literally as simple as you can get. This part is not that hard. The institutional knowledge is what you need to know, but just seeing what's new is just tedious. The institutional knowledge allows you to look through a list of code and be able to go, okay, that one is interesting. That one is interesting. This one looks interesting, but isn't. Okay? What you're doing is the plain texting of files. This doesn't include assets, models, textures, sounds, maps, scripts, soundscapes, any of that. This is not included in this. It's just code. It's just back-end computer code that is running the game. Well, assets are different. I'll talk about assets after this. Okay? Are we all on the same page so far? Because I know I'm throwing a lot at you right now. Okay. Okay. So what you're doing is that strings thing. Every Source 2 game is made up of dozens and dozens of individual files, each file representing a different component of the core engine or the core gameplay mechanic itself, right? Now, the bulk of a video game's features, the stuff that makes the video game that specific video game, is almost always in just 4 files. The executable file of the game itself, so like deadlock.exe or hlvr.exe, the host, client, and server DLLs. Host, client, and server are the core mechanical engine functions specific to a game. That is where you're going to find the majority of the leaks pertaining to that one game itself. But if something was written specifically for HLX, more than likely it's going to appear in Deadlock's executable host, client, or server DLL files. Okay? So the way that Source 2 is set up is the same way that Source was set up, is the same way that Gold Source was set up, is literally the same way that Quake 1 was set up. The folder structure has almost always remained the same. Has this guy been rambling about data mining for 15 minutes? I'm trying to educate, man, because I talk about data mining like all the time, but people apparently don't understand it. Okay. You have the core engine folder, which is either called bin or core, and then each game is in its own folder. So Dota is in Dota, Deadlock is in Citadel, HLX is in HLX, Half-Life Alyx is in HLVR. It has its own folder. The core folder has all of the core engine pieces, all the core engine mechanics, all the core engine philosophy stuff, right? You can data mine all of that stuff. You will find some information there. You're not going to find the juiciest stuff. In the CSGO imported folder or, the games folder itself, that's where you're going to find the best stuff. And how you do it is you keep a record of each build of the game. So whatever, let's just talk about like Counter-Strike 2. The build of Counter-Strike 2 as it exists right now on Steam that you download right now, right? That is this build. You need to keep a copy of that build because when the next update comes out, a lot of files are going to be overwritten with new versions. What you need to do is you need to take each file that got updated and compare it against the previous version. So, for example, you take the version of cs2.exe from before the update and the version of cs2.exe from after the update, create those text documents where it lists out all of the strings that it can find, and just compare. Literally, just put them both in a diff checker and have the program tell you what was added and what was removed from the before and after. That is it. So what you're doing is literally hours and hours and hours of scrolling and scrolling and scrolling in order to be able to identify everything that was added and everything that was removed. You then need to look at all of those additions and subtractions and compare it with institutional knowledge, previous finds, and your understanding of what the game is that you're looking for things that can be added into that core, for things that can be added into that understanding, right? So it's through doing that. It's through literally just scrolling through diff checkers of source 2 updates that you end up with this much information. This is the HLX Miro board. This is a project that my Discord server undertook in trying to understand and explain everything that was found through data mining. This is how you find all of these different functions, mechanics, features, NPCs, each of these pieces of code in orange here, right, were just found doing exactly what I just explained. Okay? Yeah, the Miro board is beautiful, and I'm very happy with the community that put it together, and I'm going to be making a video based on it if we hit the dono goal, because there is a final push for funding that I need to go for, because I did all these sponsors to be able to earn funding, and now I'm not getting paid. The current economy, the current economic landscape that we exist in are causing so, exclamation point, donate in the chat. If you want the Miro board turned into a full-length documentary video that explains everything about HLX mechanically as we understand it, at the same quality level of the Half-Life 3 history video I published, exclamation point, donate in the chat. I understand that the world is on fire, but if you do somehow, if you are somehow one of the few lucky people that has a whole bunch of disposable income, then you're going to be able to help me push to the final amount of money that I need to make the time travel show happen every 2 weeks. And also, I'll give you a really crazy good video as a thank you. So, exclamation point, donate in the chat if you can. We do have the song requests turned on. And I really appreciate it. So thank you so much for being here. I hope Valve doesn't seem worried about mining. No, they aren't. So true story. I've been in trouble with Valve before. I've told this story at length in the past, so I will tell it in a very short form version. The last time I got in serious trouble with Valve, Dom TV with the $5. Thank you so much. No problem, Bob. Yeah, so I got in trouble with legal. I had to be in a Zoom call with Valve Legal where I was scolded, and I fucked up. It was my fault. But they told me that no, data, they don't mind the data mining at all. They don't mind at all. And in fact, they sometimes put stuff in there to be able to, because they know somebody's going to find it, and they can gather information based on community feedback and speculation and stuff like that. It's like a core tenet. It's a core pillar of how Valve markets. I'm just part of the marketing machine that exists with Valve. So that's just how it goes. Exclamation point donate in the chat if you can. I really appreciate it if you can. I'm eventually going to get paid from my sponsor, but I want the time travel show out now. So if we can somehow get some money coming in, that'd be great. But yeah, the world's on fire. Everybody's broke, and that's fun. My electric bill literally sextupled these last 2 months. Anyways, that was the last time Valve actually got mad at you as well. Yeah, so the story is... Fippa? Thank you for the new Twitch Prime. Appreciate it. Story is I got a slightly early build of Half-Life Alyx from a few months before the game came out. It's like August of the prior year, so like maybe like 8 months prior. And I streamed it. I just streamed it. And it's funny because looking back, it was such a fucking stupid thing to do. Like, why did I do that? Nothing Song, Twitch Prime, thank you so much. Yeah, it was such a dumb thing to do that even the Valve legal team was like, dude, what? Why? Dude, why? We like some of your stuff. Why? It genuinely wasn't an intimidation call. Whoa, Buffy Law with the $40. Holy shit. Thank you so much. It was not I will credit where credit is due. Valve lets me get away with much more than I should be allowed to get away with. Period. Because the call that they did with me, Buffizzy Lol tier 1 sub, yo, what the hell? Thank you so much. They genuinely were just like, dude, your understanding of the law is wrong. We just want to let you know, please correct how you're handling things. We want you to keep making stuff. Please stop doing dumb shit, please. I'm just like, oh, okay. Like, they could have gone so much harder on me, and they didn't. No, they straight up said, we like when you make certain types of videos. Absolutely. We want you to keep doing that. Please stop doing this stuff. Please stop getting, like, internal assets and just showing them to people. Please. And I'm just like, okay. Okay. Please. So I'm like, oh, damn, Valve's actually kind of tight. Yeah. It was funny, though, because on the call was the lawyer, and then it was Greg Coomer. And Greg Coomer was way more mad than the lawyer was. The lawyer was just like, it's fine. Okay, hold on. Hold on. Virtual Rook, $20. Thank you so much. Okay, well, it says, hope this helps. And it does. And the thing is, Valve, again, so Tingman Thing, $20. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Credit where credit is due. I've had some scary shit happen to me that I can't go into legally. That Valve has been nothing but an absolute king. Just an absolute goat about. Like, they don't need to help. Scarlet! Okay, well, Scarlet, thank you for the 5. They didn't need to help. They don't need to give up resources to help. They helped. And they helped a lot. And I am genuinely forever in their debt because of it. One day I'm going to publish a video and you're going to be like, what the fuck? But that's years away. Testing Lol, how you doing, man? I miss you, man. Tier 1, much love. Yeah, sadly, it's Bradley's Twitter. This is the thing I knew about. Okay, yeah. We'll talk about the Steam frame in a minute. I want to make sure that we're all on the same page of this part. $5. I'm watching you. Yo, let's not fucking like gang up on some random person. Okay. Yo, $100 from Drin for my passionate gamer. Also, yeah, Kyle Pina gave me a pretzel. I'm sorry about that. $1.99 from Kyle Pina gave me a big old pretzel. I appreciate that. Thank you so much for the support, guys. I got to be honest with you. Things have been so hard lately. I've been spending I spent most of my September in a hospice house and driving back and forth from a hospice house that's like half an hour away. And then like, I hate this. She took too long, so they sent her home. Fuck that. And then like the funeral home was the most unprofessional bullshit. Like, when they came to pick up, they asked me to help. I had to help with that process. I've had a bad month. Oh no. I wasn't carrying a box with something in it. I was carrying it. If it was the box, that's just something a family does. Yeah, so things have been hard. And while all of this is going on, sponsors' terms have changed all of a sudden. Usually, so up until now, literally up until now, when you do a sponsor, you get paid 30 days after the sponsor, after you publish. And that's been a consistent thing for a decade. And so a good chunk of my job has been, okay, I do sponsors here, and then I get paid here, and that'll cover the bills here. All of a sudden, we just switched into whenever we feel like it. Like, I literally was told, yeah, maybe 90 days. We don't know. $5 Euro Blue. So, like, yeah. No, 100%. No, I owe Valve a lot. And so, like, I could be going a lot harder on HLX. You know, if I was my old self, if I was 2019 Tyler, I'd probably would have a screenshot or something. But, like, you know, like, this isn't the same. This isn't the same, right? I do owe Valve quite a bit, and it's not worth it. You know, $20 from Polly Garrett. You're great. I met Polly Garrett in person. Polly Garrett's a dope ass dude. Staple Gunner Tier 1, 11 months. Okay, so right. So yeah, let's be professional about it. So, like, data mines are fair game. I was told that straight on. So data mines are my job. And it does well enough. To be completely honest with you, I think I wouldn't get any more views if I had screenshots in my videos as opposed to the data mines stuff. If it makes you feel any better, I got cancer a few weeks ago, basically for my birthday. Okay, well, that doesn't make me feel any better. I apologize. I hope you get through it. And I'm really sorry that is happening. We are going to be playing Half-Life Bingo later. We're not playing Half-Life Bingo right now. Professional Fool, I hope whatever is making you upset in life is resolved. Okay, so let's get back on track. That's the reality of things. Exclamation point donate in the chat if we can hit the dono goal. I can get, it's we have a crazy good video that can come out because of it. The episode 3 documentary is set for December. Trans rights. Trans rights. Check Bradley's Twitter. So, okay. A while ago, I was told that the manufacturer for this the Deckard, the frame, whatever it's going to be called, was ordered to manufacture 500,000 units within the next fiscal year. Valve's next VR headset mass production timeline, assembly location, and units made in its first year have been revealed. Supply chain analyst and my friend, Black Hair Sheriff 008, has unveiled it all in his newest article. Is this a Substack or something? All right. Oh, it's in Chinese. Okay. So let's translate that. So, do you want me to read this? Do you want me to read this? Is the Geekbench test of Fremont legit? As far as I know, yes. Okay. Little known in China, it has a faith level status in Western gaming circles. This is a unique existence of the Valve Index. Can we do DeepL? This translation is garbage. All right, hold on. Let's do DeepL. Is DeepL even the best anymore? Like, what is the best translation? Why no music? Oh, yeah, Euroblue donated a song. $20. I hope your month gets less terrible. What are the chances Valve just decides to shadow drop HLX or whatever they call it? Shadow drop? Very small. They would shadow drop. Ooh. They would shadow drop a trailer, but they're not shadow dropping the whole thing. They need to do a teaser. Okay. Yeah, this is better. Little known in China, yet revealed as a cult classic in Western gaming circles, this is the unique status of the Valve Index. When Valve launched the VR headset in 2019, its $9.99 price tag drew widespread cries of overpriced. Yet 5 years later, a rare phenomenon has emerged. The official price has never dropped, while its resale value is on the secondary market even surpasses MetaQuest's latest models. Across Reddit and Steam communities in Europe and America, players have given it special nickname, the VR investment product. Now, this wait might finally come to an end. According to XR industry experts, Valve's next-generation VR headset, likely named Valve Index 2, has entered mass production. Manufactured by XR company Shandong, China, annual shipments are projected to reach 400,000 to 600,000 units. Its release date is precisely targeted for Q4 this year, meaning it will coincide with the traditional Black Friday and Christmas shopping seasons in Europe and America, poised to become the most anticipated flagship hardware of the year for Western gamers in 2025. So the question is, in today's consumer VR winter, what makes a product that hasn't dropped in price for 5 years worth the patient wait for gamers? As the VR market splits into low-cost and high-end, Valve has unhesitedly chosen the latter. Behind this choice lie three carefully constructed motifs. First motif, deep integration with the Steam ecosystem. For readers unfamiliar with the PC gaming market, the Steam ecosystem may be an unfamiliar concept. A simple analogy, if the App Store is the hub for mobile games, then the Steam is the hub for PC games. This platform boasts 130 million registered users, making it the world's largest digital distribution platform. How does this ecosystem... it's going to make me pay for the rest of this to be translated. Okay, let's use ChatGPT. I will take all questions after this. Translate to English, please. The article is full of fluff. Yeah, that's becoming apparent. Stable Gunner, $4. That's not what I heard. I heard that the 500,000 units was the projected goal, but they don't have 500,000 ready to go right now. All right. How well its largest distribution game platform. How does the ecosystem edge can translate into product competitiveness? A specific scenario explains it well. Imagine a Western player whose Steam account may hold hundreds or even thousands of titles, often worth more than $1,000 in total. After buying a Valve Index, something magical happens. These games can run directly in a VR mode without being repurchased. They can experience native VR blockbusters like Half-Life Alyx with deep immersion, or switch to a virtual big screen mode like sitting with a private 200 in IMAX to play traditional PC games such as Black Myth, Wukong, and Elden Ring. Put side by side, the difference is obvious. The result of this difference is, for players who have invested heavily in Steam, the Index isn't a new experience, but rather a key that unlocks existing investments. Draclean with the new Twitch Prime sub. Thank you so much. This article is okay, but it's very... this next song was donated by Staple Gunner. Exclamation point donate chat to be able to donate your own. If you're on YouTube, you won't be able to hear it. Apologies for that. Worth noting, this advantage is not as obvious in China. Oh, okay. The result difference is the players who have invested heavily in Steam, the Index isn't a new experience, but rather a key that unlocks existing investments. On Steam and Reddit's r/Valve Index, this activate your library logic has become the consensus. According to Steam's official statistics, heavy users have libraries worth over 1,000 on average, and some core players' libraries exceed 10,000. For this group, the $9.99 index is less a hardware cost and more of a tool to revive thousands of dollars of prior game spending. Worth noting, this advantage is not as obvious in China, because Steam's penetration in China was relatively low and due to language, payment, and content review factors. Chinese VR users are more inclined to pick standalone headsets like the Pico. This also explains why Index is little known domestically. This is a Chinese article. Second mode, product position for multiple scenarios. Unlike most VR devices that emphasize immersion, Valve did something smarter. It redefined the usage scenarios for VR hardware. In Valve's design philosophy, the Index is more than a VR headset. It's a multifunction terminal display. This thinking shines in three typical scenarios. Scenario 1. By the way, they're saying Index, they're talking about the frame. When they say Index, they're talking about the Steam frame. Scenario 1. Peak experience for native VR games. Put on the Index and enter a world of Half-Life Alyx. The first time you pry open wooden boards with your hands in the ruins of City 17, grab a brick and hurl it at Combine soldiers, or shine a flashlight into a dark vent, you'll understand what it means to buy a device for one game, and feels it was worth it. Scenario 2. Giant screen. Not in the mood for VR today? No problem. Switch to big virtual screen and play Black Myth Wukong on a 200-inch IMAX scale display. Every falling leaf on Blackwind Mountain, every hair on the Destined One appears at the size no physical monitor can match. Even 100-inch televisions can't deliver this. Scenario 3. Some users will even use the Index for multi-monitor work, spreading six virtual displays in 3D space. Coding on the left, talks in the middle, YouTube tutorials on the right. While not mainstream, it indeed pushes the device's boundaries. Thank you for the donation. What is the practical meaning of this? Even during periods when VR game content is relatively scarce, a problem in the entire VR industry, the device still retains ongoing value. Users won't shelve it due to no new games because there are always 70,000 Steam titles to play. In Western VR communities, the saying, buy a Quest and worry there's nothing to play, buy an Index and worry there's too much to play. Capture the value of this multi-scenario positioning. From a product strategy perspective, this reduces the dust collecting risk and raises perceived long-term value. Third mode, differentiated competition and technical specs. On specs, Valve took a path very different from its mainstream rivals. These seemingly for enthusiast choices are exactly what gives it the edge at the high end. Tracking systems. Valve uses external base stations, Lighthouse 2.0, two laser emitters placed in the room for spatial tracking, achieving sub-millimeter precision. By contrast, devices like MetaQuest use inside-out tracking. On-headset cameras do environmental recognition, usually centimeter level precise, but they're plug-and-play with no extra gear. Which is better? It depends on the use case. For games like Beat Saber and Pavlov, the demand for extreme precision, sub-millimeter tracking, means capturing even a 0.1 millimeter wrist tremble, crucial for full combos and precise shots. With centimeter-level tracking, you'll feel your hands aren't keeping up. The price, however, is setup. Users must install base stations first, raising the barrier to entry. This also filters Valve's target demographic, hardcore players willing to trade effort for performance. So, Lamal, the article was removed. Was it really? So this is already wrong. It will have backwards compatibility for the lighthouses, but it's inside out tracking. It's using standalone tracking as its core. So that's wrong. Controller buttons versus finger tracking. Knuckles controllers can track each finger. Yeah, so this one, that's also wrong. We do not know if it still has finger tracking. It's also not called Index 2. Was this written by AI? Okay. This article sucks. Okay, the core of what you need to know from this article is they're aiming for this year. They're aiming for it to come out before the end of the year. And the Chinese manufacturer that's going to be creating this is aiming for 500 to 600,000 units within a fiscal year. I don't know how realistic those numbers are, but it's just going to be like, hey, new VR headset, go nuts. And then like 2 days later, you can buy it. It's not going to be like a super crazy long rollout. But, okay. No, but that piece of information of, hey, you know, we know who the manufacturer is. We know when they're going to be announcing it according to the manufacturer. And we know volume of manufacturer. That somebody told me that a couple of days ago. It was going to be in the video, but like see, the thing is, they're aiming for that many in a year. There's like maybe 6 to 10,000 made now, right? It's also going to be more expensive than the Index. So such a high volume product doesn't make a lot of sense for something that's going to be that expensive in this current climate. It's going to be more expensive. How much will it cost? That's unknown. My guess is $1,200 to $1,500. And that likely isn't going to be like a complete kit. There's likely going to be like a full pack with like the VR controllers, the new handheld controllers, base station, that'll be like $2,000. But it's going to be very, very, very expensive, So you think they might sell it at a loss like the Steam Deck? No, I don't think so. I mean, I'm not them. I don't know. I didn't know they were selling the Steam Deck at a loss. Do you think we'll get HLX as an order bonus down the line? So here's something that people don't talk about very often, but it's, to me, one of the core. Your humble narrator. Hello, how have you been? 5 months on a tier 1 streak. Thank you. I'm okay. Thank you for asking. How are you? Is the ability to take 3D games and turn them stereoscopic. That's a thing that's been heavily rumored and discussed for a long time. Taking a game that's already 3D, putting it on a big theater screen, and making that theater screen have depth, make it stereoscopic 3D. That's what I'm most excited about when it comes to this, because that will genuinely reinvent the experience of a lot of different games. We don't know the resolution of the panels in the thing. But the heavy reliance on you can play any game in it means it's got to be pretty high. Using AI? No. By injecting itself into the frame buffer. No, not using AI. It'd be the same kind of thing as like NVIDIA Vision from 25 years ago. No, it'd be creating two frame buffers from two perspectives on the same game. Not all games would be supported, but because things are so homogenous engine-wise, you really just need to have support for Unity and Unreal, and then support for like Valve's own stuff. Yeah. The games are already 3D. You just need to render two perspectives. That's it. And knowing how Valve does stuff with input, they'll probably like give people tools to adjust the experience and then share the configurations for each piece of software. And like, what about billboarding? Yeah, obviously certain games are going to have problems because they're not designed to be seen with depth. Not Valve's problem. It's just you can do it. It's the same thing as like, for those that remember NVIDIA Vision from years and years and years ago. Could HLX be an order bonus? So, probably not. Something that we do know is that they're going to be demos. Like, at least one, more than likely more, full length, like not full length, but like Aperture Desk Job-esque demos for this unit. So that, I mean, that's all but confirmed at this point. So there are going, and then that's very exciting for me because that's new Source 2 engine stuff to data mine through. Imagine if HLX is only no, it's not. Would you recommend Black Mesa as a good alternative for playing Half-Life? Not as an alternative. It's an entirely different thing. It's a very good experience. It tells a similar story, but it is not. I wouldn't call it a replacement. Do you think they won't do a demo in Unity? No, they'll do it. I mean, it depends. If they contract out a demo, which they likely have, then that'll be in Unity. But anything internally made will be in Source 2. Yeah. Great, a demo I probably won't be able to play. Well, yeah. Yeah, probably. Is MVM still this month? MVM is separate from Scream Fortress, which is separate from Smismas. Between now and the end of the year, we have 3 Team Fortress 2 updates. They could do a package with HLX and the Steam frame. And HLX could be developed to take advantage of the depth in the theater space, but it is not a VR game, right? Regardless of how long after the Steam frame HLX is announced and released, HLX will take advantage and run on the Steam frame. That 100%. Is this a standalone VR headset? It is a standalone VR headset, but you can tether wirelessly to a PC for more fidelity if you so choose. Yeah. But like, you'll be able to like sit on an airplane and play like it's a Steam Deck, but it's a massive IMAX screen. Yeah. They'll probably you'll just be gifted it. Yeah, exactly. Is it going to be USB or HDMI DisplayPort? Neither. It's going to be wireless. Valve has invested a lot in new wireless VR streaming technologies over the last however many years. It'll be wireless. Could HLX have a VR mode? Yeah, maybe, but it wouldn't be official. It wouldn't be official. What about latency? Yeah, it's great. Do I think Valve will send me a free Steam frame? No, I don't even think I'll get a review copy of HLX. No. Don't you find it weird that all update on Steam and all Valve games? What? I hope it doesn't just use your home router. I think it would be a separate purchase for like a base station to stream out. But always forget Tyler can only see Twitch chat. Sigh. Yeah, I know. You are the target audience of HLX. This is true. Would Alex get a patch for the frame? Probably, yeah. Do you think Fremont will come out this year or next? Fremont, the console, it'd be next year at the earliest. Frame just leaked. Did something else leak? No, I mean, well, if you're not getting a review copy, then I definitely ain't. There goes that dream. I think you have a better chance than I do, to be completely honest with you. One chatter. I predict HLX will be announced this November. That's possible. Do you know any specific date? No. I predict you will get free shit from Valve. I mean, that'd be great. Probably not. What will Gabe say in Congress? Well, if the government shutdown continues, it's not going to happen. So, seeing how quiet it's all become, it's very possible. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. So, like, everybody's so doom and gloom when it comes to, HLX because it's been like a drought. Yeah, I mean, like, we kind of already understand a significant deal about mechanically what the game is. And there's really nothing left to learn that won't spoil things. And, like, there's not much, like, they're not going to be adding core engine features. And, like, it's far enough along that, it could just, it literally could just be at the polish phase at this point. So, isn't it the same radio silence when HLA was announced? Yes. Yeah. Yeah, they disappeared for like 2.5 months. I kept busy because, shit leaked and stuff. But as far as it was like data mined leaks of strings and stuff, yeah, those stopped in like August. And then it was announced in November and it released in March. Do I think the same thing's going to happen this time? I don't know. It's possible. It's either way. Any new info from data mining? No, there's been a drought. You might have answered this already, but do you have an educated guess when you think it might drop? No, I don't. New Valve leak just uncovered, Tyler. Reports suggest that Gabe has hired a plumber to fix the issue. Oh. Do you plan / hope on interviewing voice actors from the franchise soon? Yeah, when the game is like announced and we're in that like marketing cycle, yes, I'd love to talk to Mike Shapiro again. Absolutely. And hopefully my girl Merle is playing Alex this time. Yeah, the honeymoon period of the HLX push will be nice. It'll be great. That'll be great. I'm on the edge of my seat waiting to do a fun mapping contest. Yeah. Life doesn't turn out the way you think it's gonna. Was Merle ever asked to voice in Half-Life Alyx? Merle did all the voice acting for Half-Life Alyx and then was replaced 2 months before launch. Or 2 months before the trailer. And she wasn't told why. She was just like, they replaced you. You're not in the game. Yeah. Yeah, she genuinely doesn't. She, to this day, I don't know. But like the last time I spoke to her about it was 2022. And she genuinely didn't know. Yeah, of course she got paid. What the fuck? Yes, she got paid. Valve isn't that. What do you think the price range will be for the frame? 1,200 to 1,500, maybe 2,000. It'll be a lot. They're definitely not going to sell as many as they think. Anything noteworthy to report in regards to Deadlock? I'm pretty sure I've gotten into the game pretty big since the big patch that dropped. Yeah, me too. There's a couple of heroes that aren't out, like Boho, and Priest, you know? But, you know, I think that, doesn't she have lines as older Alex in the ending? No. Older Alex isn't in the ending. She's, like, referenced. She's kind of seen, but she doesn't make much noise. Yeah, I mean, they're working on a lot of... The Deadlock is just, like, heads down. They're working on a bunch of really cool shit. You know, new heroes, balancing, map changes. The big thing that I'm excited about is new game modes. Payload, capture point, capture the flag, that kind of stuff. New game modes, smaller, more casual game modes, faster, like a Dota turbo thing. New game modes. Do you think a percentage chance that HLX gets announced at TGA? I don't know. MVM but reverse with payload would be cool. Payload would save the game for me. What anti-aliasing technique does HLX use? Well, it supports FSR and DLSS. So I guess DLAA is there. But I'm sure some kind of temporal thing or MSAA, you know. I will eat a shoe if HLX gets announced to TGA. No thanks. Valve does love MSAA. That is true. That is true. Let's say that if those HLX concept arts turned out to be true somehow. They're not. Old Alex would definitely be voiced by Merle. Yeah, I would hope so. If there was an old Alex or some kind of time travel element to HLX. Young Alex is voiced by... I don't remember her name. Any Alex that's older than like 24 should be voiced by Merle Tantridge. Have you seen anything about Raising the Bar 2nd edition? No. Somehow that's like the second most asked thing is about the Raising the Bar book. And yeah, genuinely nothing. It's been radio silent. I do 100% believe that they're waiting for HLX to be announced and released. Because my theory is that there's going to be a Raising the Bar Volume 2. You know? Because, like, Raising the Bar Volume 2 would be telling a significantly more interesting story. Because Raising the Bar tells the story of developing Half-Life 2, which at the time was a not-so-long development cycle of, like, 6 years. But... or, like, 5.5. This one has taken nearly 20 of on and off development. So... that'd be sick. I don't have any evidence to suggest that, but I feel like one of the reasons why we haven't heard anything about Raising the Bar is because, I mean, they have a crazy story to tell right now. So it's going to be a big book? Yeah, I mean, it already is Raising the Bar is a fairly big book, and the version that's going to be re-released is going to be expanded with stuff about the episodes. So... they did show 2 books. Really hope there's digital. Almost certainly there will be. Look, here's the thing. I love development asset books. I love art books and stuff like that. I have quite a few of them. Fuck Nintendo. The Nintendo business arm is a bunch of ass. But the Zelda books are really cool. Is anybody like... they released these Masterworks books in Japan that genuinely are just the developers talking about the development of Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, and they never brought them over. Sucks. If there's a Nintendo game I would want to know the history of the development, it would be Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. You know? Not Twilight Princess 2? Was that ever a thing? Cut content is your biggest hyperfixation? Me too. I have a question for you. Do you ever get bothered by V and the mean stuff they say about you? How do you deal with online hate in general? I mean, I've been doing this for a very long time. That I've been through pretty much all stages of grief when it comes to that kind of stuff, you know. But at this point, it's very much just acceptance, because, like you know, it's what I like. Okay, like, it doesn't matter to me. Like, you don't like me, okay, that's fine. You're allowed to not like me. That's fine. They wanted to do Twilight Princess 2, but Miyamoto wanted Link's crossbow training. I feel like I've heard that. That's funny. Man, Miyamoto making the crazy good decisions. Asset Ryuzi sequel, but God. People love Asset. Like, I hate the arm of Nintendo, like the business side of things. But my God, do I love the artists that work at that company. Like, I'm going to be honest with you, you know, Twilight Princess 2 became Breath of the Wild in 2013. Did it really? I got a Switch 2 from a sponsor. I have been playing that. It has been getting me through this really tough time. And I have, like I almost 100%ed DK Bonanza. I played through Mario Odyssey again. And now I'm playing through Tears of the Kingdom again. And I'm like 30 hours into this thing. And it's like, oh God, this is so fucking good. This is so well made. This is so well made. My 2 cents, I don't know if you agree, but Mike Spire's tweet, I think, was hinting at raising the bar. No, it was hinting at the game, but like in a very indirect kind of way. He likely had like wrapped his voice acting work or something. $4 from Master Crazy RJ. Yes. Yes. Yes, we are. Yes, they do, and it's going to be some demos. It's not going to be... Nintendo's like a racist grandma who makes great food. Tears is good, but suffers from being a bit too open with not enough to do. I say Breath of the Wild suffers from that more than Tears does. Tears is absurdly open, especially with the underground, but like, I don't know, like, it's just like, God, the mechanics are so fucking well designed. The fuse and the ultra hand and the fucking cars you can build, and like, they do a lot of like, we have to fill out the space, so we're going to reuse a bunch of shit. And that's been a problem in a lot of their mainline games for a while. Even Donkey Kong Bonanza, like their best game in a decade, has done that. But like, yeah, Tears of the Kingdom, it's like, oh, I'm doing more fucking Korok seeds. I gotta carry this fucking backpack wearing guy. Okay. Oh, this guy is holding up a sign. I have to help this guy hold up a sign like 80 times. Okay. But the exploration is insane. The mood and the atmosphere and the music and the art is just fucking perfect. I really like Tears of the Kingdom a lot. A lot. Like, right now, I'm just like following the way the statues are pointing and kicking the Yiga clan's ass over and over again. Koga, I think his name is. But not more than Breath of the Wild. I don't know. I like it more than Breath of the Wild. I don't know. I like Tears of the Kingdom more than Breath of the Wild. And I played the shit out of Breath of the Wild. But I don't see the point in playing Breath of the Wild when Tears of the Kingdom exists. It's really hard to go back because it's like, well, I want to use the thing that lets me go through the ceiling, or I want to fuse my weapon, or I want to, build a flying machine and just skip this area, Have I played the Galaxy 2 port? Yeah, it's pretty good. I love the Koga guy. He's really funny. Yeah. Is there anything cut from Half-Life 2 that you wish more people knew about? I'm gonna be honest. I feel like everybody knows everything about the cut content. I like that's such a popular topic that it's like a lot of people know about most of it. Well, Tears of the Kingdom started life for like the first chunk of its production is just DLC for Breath of the Wild, but they just kept coming up with way too many ideas. $5 from BC401. Thank you so much. Is it true that the stories are basically the same? Well, yeah. 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 Pretty much. Well, but at the same time, no. Like it has new I don't know. It's good. I don't know. It's good. Let me tell you about the Calamity. Let me tell you about the Imprisoning War. I don't know. I like it. It's a good game. Fuck their business model, though. Fuck Nintendo's business model. Any update on the guy with the HL1 beta discs? Yeah, I've said this a couple of times. I'm not chasing after this until after HLX is out. Recently finished the new Pac-Man World 2 remake. It's been a pretty good time. Pac-Man World's a good game. Will Valve ever do anything with Day of Defeat? Nope. No, they will not. Yeah, look, finding the tiers or like the little pools that give you memories, the tier memories or whatever out of order is a problem. Breath of the Wild has you fight robots. Tears of the Kingdom has you fight monsters. When you fight monsters in Breath of the Wild, there's just way more enemy design variety in Tears of the Kingdom. Yeah. And I'm excited. I'm not excited, but I'm like kind of anticipating Age of Imprisonment. How soon after HLX releasing do you think we'll have before there'll be an HL4 video? I don't know. I don't think so. Contrast editing, $4. Thank you so much. I don't think they will. They've kind of said that they won't, and that Sandbox is kind of taking that niche. Hey, Tyler, really enjoying HL3 so far. How do you get past Chapter 8? Barney keeps bugging through the wall. You're going to need to... Okay, so one of the problems with... Okay, Chapter 8 is orbital function 1, right? So in the underground facility, there's actually a door behind the building. The gate, like, it's almost like they knew that there would be a problem of like Barney trying to navigate with all of the breakable elements of the building put there. But if you go from behind, which is more, in the building, like it's mounted to the side of the mountain, so you go through the tunnel and all that. Yeah, so go to use the back door. Age of Imprisonment should be good. But if they pulled the same thing they did in Age of Calamity, I'm going to be glad that Breath and Tears are in our own bubble and not attached to the timeline. Okay. Backdoor with Barney. Bingo? I'm not Gabe Newell. I'm not Gabe Newell. Do I look like Gabe Newell? Hi, this is Gabe Newell. Uh. All right, so you guys want to do Half-Life Bingo now? You guys want to do Half-Life Bingo? You certainly sound like Gabe. All right. So we're going to make a Half-Life Bingo card. Make your own bingo card. So this is going to be Half-Life 1 bingo. $5 from Hazard Time. Thanks, man. Rumors that the Xbox handheld was canceled. Yeah, I don't know anything about that. I do know that there have been conflicting reports on that. I wouldn't take it to be like fact, but I can say that it seems like Microsoft is struggling pretty hard right now. So, all right. So, free space, 5x5, one card. All right. So the way that this is going to work is we're going to be playing random custom maps from a very long time ago for Half-Life 1. And what I want you to tell me as the audience are things that need to occur, things that happen, cliches of, community maps, technical issues, things that, young mapping developers do, like writing test in the test chamber kind of thing. All right, so Fulbright. It's Half-Life 1. This is Half-Life 1. This is Half-Life 1. Vent with crab. Half-Life 1. The sun doesn't leak in Half-Life 1. Okay. Map, text, dialogue. Scripted camera flying. Breaking door with enemy. All weapons on spawn. Amateur voice work. Really bad brush work is like, that's subjective, but I will put Z fighting. Text to speech voice. Okay. I'm also gonna do reused game VO in new context. Geoscale issues. Text in place of voice acting's already in there. Copyrighted music. I hope not. But I'll put that down. Copywritten music. Scientists. How do you spell science? SCIENTS. Scientist. Screaming. Poorly reskinned NPCs. Floor texture on ceiling. I like that one. I'll put jump scare failures. Yeah. Required cheating. personal personal posters. Hard mobs, broken sequences, Fulbright. Backtracking. Okay, random hurt. Nah. Oh, thank you for playing. Yes, yes, absolutely. Poorly scaled, we have that in. Big ammo room. Yeah. Unfair deaths. Random Garg. Item in toilet. Was that done a lot for Half-Life 1? Inside jokes. Okay. Room full of dead bodies. No. Electrified water puddle. Stolen assets. That wasn't so much an issue in Half-Life 1 because it was a lot harder to import stuff. Microwave? All right. Long dead gaming group. So like an email address or yeah. Floating gun. Black and white tile, that's almost certain. Ooh, bad vehicle. Turret section. Outdated meme. Bad, just terrible lighting. Okay, so the way that this works, by the way, we already have camera floating. That I'll put /cutscene. Ooh, abrupt ending. Yes. Oh. Can see into the void. /hall of mirrors. Okay, so the way that this works is we're gonna go to runthingshootlive.com, which is a custom map archive for the entire Half-Life series, and we're just gonna play like really, really old maps, right? So like stuff from the 90s and early 2000s, and what we need to do is try and find some of this stuff. Are you keeping a list of what you played? Well, last time we were playing Half-Life 2. So, you know, we've not played any of Half-Life 1 doing this before. Retro bar? No, I'm on XP. Freeze? All right. When did we do Half-Life 2? July? It was a while ago. Gordon name drop? Taking place in another science facility. No glue-on gun? Nah. Ooh, obstacle course / jumping puzzles. All right. I think for this is good. I think we're good. Does that count during the Black Mesa? No. How about playing as Gordon relative Blank Freeman? Okay. Yeah. Playing as X Freeman. Yeah. I guess we'll put missing textures were missing textures. More than 2 pushing box puzzles. Okay. So it's going to be 5 by 5, 1 card. The free space is going to be called free space in the center. Do we include a free space? I'll call it Freeman space. Generate. Okay, so there's our bingo card. And we need to get a line, right? We need to get a line. We have a free space. I'm going to put the bingo card over here. And do diagonals count? Yes. Let's generate a new one so I can have it at the top of the screen. There you go. Alrighty. And then what I'm going to do is display capture, bingo card. Cool. So diagonal does count. Am I actually using XP? Yeah. All right. So we're going to play timeline is wild. The interview stage 1. Oh God, is this even going to be here? Oh, yes, it is. Okay, cool. We're going to start with a map called the interview stage 1. You could probably do these with Sven co-op alone. No, we're going to play it in Half-Life. Could you post the bingo on your Discord? No. Okay, Half-Life, browse local files. Oh, the RMF is in here. That's nice. So here's the text file. This is the next interview phase for Gordon. After taking the job with the smoking man, even though he never smokes, this is part 1 of the interview. Comments are appreciated. The full interview is to come. So this was made by somebody named S3 Coolio and was published in 1999. This was before they knew the G-Man was called G-Man. They called him the Smoking Man because of the X-Files, which is something that people don't really know much about anymore, huh? Okay, so hello? Put on game capture. Half-Life, yep. All right, so the map was called Interview... No, hello. Oh, okay. It's using DOS limitations. Half-Life Day 2! Half-Life Day 2! Okay. Immediately, I love it. So what do we have here? Bad vehicles, vent with crab, freeze, copywritten music, floating gun, thanks for playing, poorly reskinned NPCs, all weapons on spawn, scientists screaming, map text, dialogue. That's dialogue for map text. More than 2 pushing box puzzles, Z fighting, floor texture on ceiling, unfair deaths, breaking door with enemy, inside jokes required, cheating, scripted camera flying / cutscenes, electrified water, jump scale failures, can see into the void, long dead gaming group, big ammo room, and missing textures. Okay, so we need to immediately do... Oh, wait, no, we don't. What's a gaming group? Like an old clan. I don't want to play with HD models on. HD models suck. That FOV? Oh, you know it. Okay. You play with HD models? How dare you? So this was a map made in 1999. Access granted. Okay. Oh my. Immediately. Okay. So part of my job interview is to kill people? Oh. Is this push box puzzle 1? So this door might be broken. Oh, do they want me to... The camera's neat. Yeah, it follows me. That's neat. Do they want me to break the door? Access permitted. It either got stuck or it wants me to blow it up. Okay. All right. That was neat. Oh, geez. Oh, geez. Tight corridors. Oh, boy. Okay. What do the lights mean? I don't think the lights mean anything. Oh, I hate this. Oh. Oh, God. Yeah. Okay. It's a hall of mirrors. That's true, but that's not what I meant. You got to check the opposites are the same before breaking the glass. Wait, is it a true hall of mirrors? Wait, what? Unfair death, you exploded? Yeah, but I caused that myself. Also, like, goddamn, give me the crowbar. Yo, $4 from Cauliflowers. Gotta love Dav Train. Shout out to Dav Train, man. Dav Train, real one. Exclamation point, donate in the chat. We have song requests on if you want to. Okay. 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 So I don't understand the puzzle here. There doesn't seem to be any kind of, like, logic to this. Oh, and I'm locked out. I can't go back and get the resources now. Okay. Then you go this way. Does it follow a pattern? So, like, yellow, red, blue, white, yellow, blue. Wait. Yellow, red, blue, white, yellow, red, yellow, white, blue, red, yellow, red, blue. It's meaningless. Putting more thought into it than the dev? Yeah. Somebody told me to put seizure warning on it. I shoulda. Is unfair death on here? Yep. Oh, geez. Broken map text. It does it on every launch. Okay. Okay, now what in the fuck am I supposed to do? Is that just the end of the map? Am I, like, is it supposed to... Am I supposed to die? I think that's the end of it. I think I'm supposed to die. Let's look outside the map. Is there anything else around here? Yeah, that's just the end. Yo. Antitoxin administered. Okay, so that was the interview. A map from 1999. You gotta love these. All right, let's find a new one. Okay. The Innocent Entity. No, The Innocent Eternity. Released April 6th, 1999. 3D text should be on the next bingo. I agree. Okay. This was created on March 14th, 1999 by somebody named Vladislav. Okay. The Innocent Eternity. Right. Last half of the year in Black Omega under the Strahd Conspiracy Total Conversion. Okay. So get lucky 1 2 3 4 1 with the 39 months. Good lord. So it's in a pack file, which is not supported by the modern game anymore, I don't think. And I'm just going to need to extract the pack file. How do you extract pack files nowadays? id software pack files. Pack Explorer. Okay. Oh, use Slade? Okay. 7-zip isn't opening it. Any Project Borealis updates? Nope. So were there any other... No, 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 no. No, 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 no. No, no. Okay, well, that's not letting me... So we're going to play the next map, which is even older than the map we just played. People were making maps immediately. Half-Life came out in November 98, and maps were coming out in December of 98. Maps were coming out immediately. And the earliest ones for like the first 2 years are almost all dog shit, which I find very funny. All right, just let me open this pack file. Yep, okay. So we got the files. Export. Save. Okay, the map is called First and Second. There's 2 maps here. Did it copy over? Yes, it did. Okay. So this next map is the Innocent Eternity. MSG1. MSG2. So that is meant to be map text, but because it changed, okay, yeah, that's this. The dialogue is in a file that I can read. So we're just going to read the file. What am I supposed to know? The Innocent Entity by Vlad. You can't open the door to Citadel of Eternity from here. You need to activate special energy block in Caves of Sorrow. Stream's lagging. All right, hold on. Yeah, we are lagging pretty hard. Very strange. I'll just close a bunch of shit. Is it this map?